now plugged into the Social Plug Podcast.
What is going on, everybody? I am Johnny Martinez, and you are plugged into the Social Plug Podcast, where we connect you to level up and where we discuss and highlight ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We are always powered by Social Plug Media. Today, we're in Collab Space Studios in beautiful and historic New Braunfels, Texas, and I'm here with my right-hand man, J Rock. What's going on?
Johnny, what is up, my dude? You're on air. You ready to go, huh?
I'm on the air, and my on-air sign kind of moved around a little bit.
What happened there?
But that's what happens here. So it's all good. I got it back intact, man.
Let's go, man. No, I'm excited about today's episode, brother. A tag team came into the building today, right? And I'm excited to learn about these two gentlemen.
Oh man, we're in for a treat. All of us, especially me. I'm already inspired by this dynamic duo, father and son combo, that are doing not only great things within their family and in their lives, but they're inspiring others to do the same. Now, we were talking before the show, there's a lot of challenges that people have in life. People struggle with, in school with grades. People struggle with relationships, with, all kinds of things that can go wrong, right? And people can either learn from it, adapt, grow and develop and become stronger from it, or they can just fall by the wayside, right? Curl up in the fetal position and just say, screw it, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. But we're going to highlight these two individuals here, and it's a story of hope, story of inspiration, motivation, and beyond. If we can always, our mindset is this, J-Rock, if we can help one person, inspire just one person, and we're doing our jobs.
That's right.
As podcasters and as fathers, as friends, as colleagues, community leaders, so on and so forth. So my hope is that we not only inspire one person, but we inspire thousands of people with these individuals we're about to highlight.
That's right.
Okay. So one of these individuals, I'm not going to say he's handicapped because he's not handicapped. All right. Handicap is something that we force onto ourselves or label ourselves or label others because they're in a walker or a wheelchair. But I'm a firm believer the handicap comes from within your mind, within your brain, because there are athletes and there's people in life that have these abilities beyond belief to accomplish athletics, to accomplish schoolwork and projects and all these things. But when it comes down to it, they don't have the mental capacity to deal with challenges, trials and tribulations and struggles and burdens. If they get caught in a struggle, they kind of just, like I said earlier, fall by the wayside. And then these people that rise to the occasion because they're labeled as handicapped, but really it's just because they can't use their legs or arms and things like that. But their mental capacity is through the roof. And I want to highlight these two people here. One is the dad, good friend of mine. He is a fitness coach. He's a fitness expert. He's an entrepreneur. He owns DB Fitness, and we'll get into that. So DB Fitness is not just an ordinary fitness gym. It goes above and beyond teaching, coaching, getting you ready for cardio, for weightlifting, powerlifting, legs, arms, back, all that. And I'm going to include the mental health aspect as well. So this guy is a coach who coaches others on mental wellness as well. He served in the Air Force for a long time. He's an Air Force retiree. He's from Scranton, Pennsylvania, J-Rock. And Scranton is where they've had The Office. That's where it was based off of. I don't know if The Office was actually filmed there.
No, I don't think so.
But, it's based in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Okay. So he's traveled the world. He has a lot of connections. He does a lot of things. And he is inspired by his son, Danny. All right. And Danny's the one I spoke of earlier.
Yes, sir.
Danny had a lot of challenges, and he continues to have challenges. Let's just be honest. But he doesn't let those challenges get in his way. He overlooks those challenges and says, you know what? Give me the next one because I'm ready to go.
That's good.
Right? And I love those kind of people because they inspire me and motivate me. I don't get inspired by people that are just failing and letting themselves fail. Right? I don't get inspired by that. I don't get inspired by whiners and complainers and people just woe is me and playing the victim. No, there are ways to become a winner with your challenges. And we're going to talk all about that. Okay.
Thank you.
So let me get back on track with this individual, the dad we're talking about. He has a graduate degree in sports psychology. He's won gold medals in powerlifting. He's one of the strongest dudes I know, not only mentally but physically as well. All right, he is a physical specimen, and he is a just a phenom with connections. He's on the staff of UTSA, Division I school here in San Antonio, UTSA, and he lives here in. Say it again.
So let's go Roadrunners.
Yeah, Roadrunners.
yeah.
Okay,
Let's
and
go
he
Roadrunners,
lives here in
man.
New Braunfels, Texas. All right, and I'm proud to call him my friend. All right, Dan Bedford, Dan the man, Coach Dan, whatever you want to call him. He's a badass, and his son Danny is an even bigger badass than Dan. All right, Danny and Dan Bedford, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Thanks for having us here and carving out a part of your day. This is important, and you touched on earlier about if we could just reach one person out there that doesn't think that they could do something. The power of the mind is a wonderful thing, and we'll get into a lot of the power of the mind through our talk today. But yeah, if we just reach one person and make them a believer that they could do it and win, it's all about winning. That's an important thing right there.
Yep. And you two are winners.
Oh, 100%.
What's going on, Danny?
Not much, just chilling. Great to be on the show today.
Look, Danny's just chilling today.
He's just chilling. I love it.
He's not just chilling. He's inspiring people.
Let's go.
Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is
Yeah.
going to be fun.
Yeah. So you're 32 years old, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I thought you were like 21, 22. You still look pretty young, man.
Thank you,
But
man. 32
is young, I would say. Old guys like me and Dad here. I mean,
Oh yeah.
we're not dinosaurs, but we're not spring chickens anymore either, right?
Mhm.
But we have a lot of experience. And your dad has a lot of experience in not only the Air Force and all these powerlifting things, but he has experience in being inspired by somebody like you. How many dads out there can say, "Man, my son really inspires me"?
Oh,
It's one of those things that we kind of take for granted
no,
sometimes,
100%.
right? And the children kind of take for granted the parents, like, that's just my dad.
Yeah.
He's just there. He's just supposed to be there.
Yep.
No, sometimes dads aren't always there. Sometimes dads leave the family. Sometimes dads go astray. But your dad, he made it his obligation, his responsibility when you were born, and probably before that with the family, just to make sure he took care of everything he needed to, because that's the kind of dude you are, Dan.
Oh,
All right.
no, I couldn't agree
you-
100%, Johnny.
You've been a stellar individual since I've known you.
Yeah.
Always been the utmost professional.
Mhm.
And you've always been a beacon of just strength and just getting shit done. And
I love it.
I'm not. You didn't pay me to say that. That's just my personal testimony,
Excellent.
right?
That's right.
When I see you, not only when you were in an Air Force uniform, you had a smile on your face, and you were always just out there getting stuff done, regardless of the situation. And since I've known you, I just found out recently about Danny, and because it's not something that we always talked about.
Yep.
I mean, we like to talk about people's families but that's just not
But
something.
I like whiskey and beer and hanging
Right,
out.
right.
Yeah.
Right. We talk about sports and
Yeah.
who won the game and stuff.
Sure.
But you have another layer of excellence in your corner here.
Oh,
Right.
100%. When you talk about a tag team partner right here, I couldn't ask for anyone to be in my corner. Danny's outstanding, and you talk about power of being a dad, right? So I was born, obviously in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and caught a coal cracker town in PA, not a whole lot of people there have a lot of money, but they have a blue collar, strap it up, tighten up the weight belt,
Work ethic.
work ethic type personality. So, my parents all, taught me right. They said, son, someday you may have kids in the future. This is when I was young, growing up, because I love playing football, wrestling. My favorite sport's college football. Go Penn State, although we're 0-5 in conference right now. That's a whole other story.
That's a whole different story, right?
Yeah, we won't talk about that today. But I'm a big Penn State guy. Nittany Lions. I love Northeast Pennsylvania. But more importantly, I love motivating others. That's what's important. And I got a lot of that from probably someone sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into that a little bit. Can you? I mean, I don't know if you want to tell the story, or Dan, you want to tell the
I
story.
could kind of lead off a
Right.
little bit, and Danny could kind of chirp in. I love that Danny's sitting next to me now. This is great. And being a young dad, You have to wake up fast. So I had to learn to overcome a lot of mental barriers. I needed to have physical strength was always good. I always loved working out, playing football, wrestling, but I really needed to work on the mental part of the game with me. And that all happened back in high school. I was a young dad. I was wrestling, and all of a sudden, like we found out that at the time, Danny's mom, she was pregnant. We were both very young, and I call kids having kids, right? But we had to, grow up pretty fast. And there's one thing that everyone will tell you that knows our family is, Danny's father is always there for him, and so is his mom, and he has a good family support because you need to have a good family support system for your kids, growing up. So Danny's always had good support, but back to that, when Danny was born, you nailed it on the head earlier, Johnny. You talked about there's no such thing as disability. I never look at Danny or valued him in those ways. I look at him as Danny Bedford. I never, it's funny, I'll get into later on. Sometimes I get bad looks when I'm out at the mall walking around and stuff because sometimes I make him open up the own damn door. Sometimes he needs to do it.
Yeah.
But he's tough. He does it himself because he understands that someday mom and dad and family and friends like you guys may not be around to help him. So he's going to have to open up a door and close it by, himself sometime. But yeah, he was born premature. I'm trying to think back. I'm 49, Johnny, and my memory's going on me, but I forget how much he was born. But I want to say, as far as poundage, maybe 1 pound.
Okay.
When I held
It's
Danny,
tiny.
yep, when I held Danny, I held him in the palm of my hand.
Wow.
True story. True. Actually, I got pictures where it looked like a superhero action figure in my hand.
Kind of like that Macho Man Randy Savage over there.
Yeah, just
that-
like
that
Macho
J-Rock
Man
has.
Randy Savage, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when doctors came out and when Danny was born, and they told the family, like, hey, we don't think your son's gonna make it, and he has a 10% chance to live, and he'll probably never be able to walk. And I remember looking at, I believe his name was Dr. Salazar, if I remember right. A lot of respect I have for him, but I just told him, I said, hey, if he's breathing on machines, I'm a Christ follower, although, I do curse here and there, but it's from my old Marine Corps days, and I know someday when I go up to heaven, Jesus will probably look at me and be like, you know what, you cursed a lot, but you know what, you got a big heart. We'll let you in the gates, But I told him to not pull the plugs. And, that was a tough decision. And I don't know if I ever even told Danny the story till right now. I forget. I don't know if I ever told him that.
Danny, did you know any of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So
you
I don't
did.
know if he knew or not. But anyway, I told the doctors right there, I have the power of prayer is a big thing. And I said, you know what? Don't pull the plugs because I want to see what happens here. I'm going to give it to the Lord. And that's what I did. And now look could you imagine if I would have missed so much in my life? I would not be Coach Dan. We wear a lot of hats. The husband I am today. You talk about gold medals. I competed in powerlifting back in the day. We'll get into that in a minute on how I used exercise and fitness to help me with some of my mental health struggles too. Being a young dad and trying to figure it out, right? But there's one thing my dad always taught me in the Bedford family is, hard work doesn't come easy. All right. The goals and things you accomplish in life, nothing's given. You got to work for it. And that's one thing that I've instilled in my family because I learned that from my parents. And Danny's willing to fight and live. I mean, you're looking at him right now. His ability to fight and live and battle through. I mean, he was a swimmer and lettered in swimming with half his body. And I remember years ago when because military, we move around a lot,
Right.
lived in a lot of different states, been all over the world, deployments. But when we were out in Lake Elsinore, California, which we loved living out there, it was nice, warm, sunny. I'm a big Padres fan, so don't throw nothing at me for that. But anyway, Danny, I remember when he went down, he's like, Dad, I want to try a sport. You played football, you wrestled. I could do it too. True story. And Danny could chime in a minute because I talk a lot. But I took him down to the school. We got him ready. and I put his swimming suit in his bag, and he's ready to go. And I went down there to meet the swim coach at the time. And again, I'm not knocking Lake Elsinore High School. I'm not knocking the coaches. They were great school administrators. But when he was walking in with a walker, you could just see it on the coach's face, like liabilities, right? Like, what? He wants to try out for the swim team, but wait a minute, he's walking in with a walker. Here I am helping him into. So anyway, I told the coach, I said, listen, he wants to swim. And if I put him in the pool right now, he could at least swim down to the edge and come back. And he said, well, we have a thing called a 50-meter freestyle. And if he could go down and touch the water and come back, then he could be on the team. And you could tell right away, like he thought I was going to have to jump in and help, or I didn't help. All I did was help Danny get in the water. And then you want to talk about the rest, and Danny did the rest. Yeah.
How was that, Danny?
Well, you only do high school once, and I was like, I want to at least get the most out of it. I want to get something to show for it, enjoy my time. And I was like, what's a sport that'll give me, lots of exercise? I can be on a team, but, I can prove myself and be amongst my peers and show them that even though I have a disability, I can keep up with you. And so I looked at all the sports. I sat down. I said, well, track's out. And I said, well, track's out. I looked at everything else.
He went down the whole list.
Yeah, went down the big list, and I was like, swimming. We got a pool in the backyard. I'm already pretty good at that. Let's see if I can do it. And so it was more of prove to myself that I've got what it takes to get in there, and prove to everybody else that even though the world sees me as disabled, I can still do as the best that I can, do as good as I can, and maybe keep up with you or surpass you along the way. So I remember walking into that meeting after we had the meeting with the principal in the school, and they were scared, deservedly so. And the coach said, look, we're going to let you participate, but we're going to keep you out for a month before you can compete because we need to make sure that you can do it. I said, a month? We'll see about that. So the coach was like, well, if you can prove that you can do a 25, which is one swim to one end, touch, get out, you can compete. So I was like, coach, when's our first swim meet? He said, well, you've got 3 weeks. And I said, 3 weeks? And the coach was like, yes, but we would like to hold you out for a month to make sure you can do it. I said, all right, I'll earn my spot.
Yeah.
So every day, I did practice just like everybody else. And sure enough, the day came, the coach was like, you're ready. And I was like, yep, I'm ready. Put me in there. And the coach was like, but I need to let you know 25s are not a lap in this meet. You'll need to do 50. He goes, can you do it? And the difference between a 50 and a 25 is instead of going down one lane, touch and get out, you got to go down one end, swim back, get out. So it's double of what I trained for. And so the coach looked at me and was like, do you think you could do it? And I was like, well, I'm not going to wait another month.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah. And before my race, I can remember the judges and the paramedic came over to me and they were like, you sure? Paramedics, like, if you need me, I'll be over there, just the school covering their ass a little bit.
Right.
And then,
excuse the, Danny just says it out.
Let it happen.
And then I looked at my teammates and, my teammates, they didn't know that I was going to do a 50. So, when I jumped in the water, started swimming, they were ready to pull me out at the 25, like they were instructed to do. So once I swam to the other end, they were ready to pull me out, and I had to pull them off me because I had to swim all the way back and do the 50. So, but, you know, I trained hard for it and I believed in myself and, you know, I got it done. But I'm not going to lie to you. As I was in there, once I got done to the 25, I was like, okay, I'm tired. This is good. And right as I touched that wall, I was like, man, I got to do a 50. So I kind of regretted saying yes a little bit, but I was like, I'm already in the water, got to finish.
Could I add in something, Danny, with this?
Sure.
Because this is an important point because I remember, you know, as I'm 49 now, right? So there's a lot of things I'm starting to forget, Johnny, as we're getting older, right? Jeez, I forget what day it is half the time. You're not there yet, Danny. Don't stay young. But there's one big thing is I remember that day, like Danny had many swim meets, but his first meet I'll never forget because I don't know if Danny remembers this, but me and Danny had an eyeball contest where I basically told Danny, I said, you're gonna get in there and you're gonna swim and do this meet, but I won't let you drown. But you know what? I'm not coming in the water. You need to come up for your breath and fight through, swim, and you're gonna do this, son. And you're gonna finish. I'll make sure you're safe, but you're gonna come up, take a deep breath, go down. Danny did it, and he swam, never missed the meet. He got best swimmer award his senior year.
Wow.
Most time off swim. And it's crazy because I remember that moment Danny's talking about because he was halfway through and all of a sudden he looked over at me and he grabbed the side. What do you call those, Danny? The little the strings with
the lane.
Right, with the little circles on
these
them.
little circles, whatever you call it. Well, he grabbed that for almost a second and he kind of gave me that look and I just gave him a nod like, you got this.
Mm-hmm.
And no one knew who placed first, second, or third in that meet. Actually, no one really knew a lot of times who did, but they all knew who Danny Bedford was. And it was amazing when you would see not only his own teammates and coaches, but the other teams' coaches and people he's going against to go against them, cheering him on. Danny, it was a sight that I'll never forget. I know somewhere it's buried in YouTube or Facebook somewhere, but it was really good.
Yeah.
Good. Come on, Danny. Big breath. Big breath. Come on.
Big breath. Let's go.
Big breath.
You can do it, Daniel. Keep going.
Good job, Danny. Come on, Danny. Go, go, go. Come on, Danny. Come on, Danny. Let's go, kick. Almost there. Come on. Come on, Danny, go. Come on, Danny. Come on, Dan. Come on, Danny, don't quit.
Let's go.
Let's go. Come on. Come on, Danny. Come on, you're right here. Come on. Come on, Danny. Go, 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 go. Come on, Dan. Come on. Come on, Danny. Come on. Come on, Danny. Come on. Come on. You're right here. Come on, Danny. Right here. Come on. Good job, Danny. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Danny Bedford won that race
Yep.
by far, hands down. And Danny Bedford proved all the naysayers wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing too is I knew that like I may not be the fastest, may not be the strongest, but I'm always gonna finish.
Yep, exactly. That's a great mentality to have.
And that was the most important thing for me was not placing first, but finish what I started.
Right,
So you gotta finish.
right.
That's what's most important. It shouldn't be getting first. It should be finishing. So finishing was most important.
And never quitting. And Johnny, when he went in and tried out, like, it's a lot with our lives we've gone through here. You got the tag team championship here, right?
There you go.
Yeah, tag
There
team
you
champs
go.
right here. But Danny, he's had several
Yep.
surgeries, Johnny. So like Danny was in a body cast
Yep.
for 6 months.
Yep.
He's had reconstructive surgery,
surgery, yeah.
bilateral on his knees, his
Yeah.
hips. His whole from his hips down was in a cast
Oh wow.
for
Yeah.
about 6 months.
Yeah.
So
And this
Danny,
is before the swimming?
yeah,
Yep.
Okay, so this is before.
yeah. So
Wow.
Danny
Let's
looked,
just say the swimming was a great rehab. Yeah.
and that's what I want to touch
There you
on.
go.
Yeah.
Danny was not only wanted to do it to compete in sports, but he's like, you know what? This is going to help me physically.
This is gonna help my
and
body.
help me mentally.
Help me recover.
Help recover.
Yeah.
Do you know how much of an impact you made on everybody at that swim meet?
Oh, huge.
And you
'Cause-
made it on your dad. You made it on yourself. You didn't. I don't know how your mental capacity is. I know it's strong, but did you know that you were going to finish that? Did you have doubts?
As I got in that water, once I touched the 25 line, maybe about 3 strokes in, there was a little bit of a doubt, and I did yak up a bunch of water once my race was done. But I still finished, and like I said, I think that's the most important thing. But what was amazing to me was like I was trying to prove it to myself more than, let's say, anybody else. Inspiring people was sort of an afterthought. It happened because of what I was able to do, but more to the fact that like I wanted to prove to myself that I can do it, and just so happened to inspire others along the way, which is
Right.
great. But I was really, really shocked how like, the other schools have their team, and I was shocked that like the other team was coming over high-fiving me, and I was like, you're supposed to be my competitor, not
Right,
cheering for
right.
me. What's going on here?
So the
And-
humanistic element
yeah,
stood out
like
in that point.
100%.
And the other coaches from the other teams would be like, "You got a minute, son? We want to talk to you." And I'd be like, that's when it clicked. I was like, I got something special going on here.
100%.
If all the kids from whatever race we were in at the time are coming over wanting to ask me questions.
Yeah.
And my teammates were great. I love them all, still in contact with many of them through gaming and stuff nowadays. But like the impact of it, I didn't really grasp it as I was doing it, but as the 2 years that I did swimming went on, I was like, this feels
Let
different.
me add into
This
that a
feels
little
different.
bit, Dan. The impact was so major that he was in the news,
Mhm.
newspapers. People started coming out to high school swim meets
Just to watch him.
to watch him.
Wow.
Yeah.
How impactful.
Wow.
How much
People s-
confidence did that put in you?
Huge, because huge confidence, because people that I didn't even know, people that weren't even from my school, started showing up, started asking questions, and the coach, my swim coach, kind of caught on that we had something special, and so my teammates loved me, but they didn't love me at practice because the coach said nobody gets out of the water until Danny leaves. And
We all start and finish together.
and so my teammates would be like, "Come on, practice is over. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out." They would beg me. They'd be like, coach said, practice isn't over until you leave the water. Please leave the water. And I was like, I'm not done yet.
So, Danny, you had a little swag to you. You're probably talking shit to these guys and stuff now, right? You're like,
Absolutely. As time went on, I started feeling myself a little bit. Started feeling like handicapped Michael Phelps, Tom Brady mentality. And I just
Kobe Bryant.
Absolutely.
The Mamba mentality.
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
definitely a league of his own, I tell you what.
Absolutely. And my second race, I could remember the paramedics, because it was a rival school. This wasn't our school now, you know, because I think it was like 5 races in. We had to go travel to another school. So the paramedics didn't know me. And the other team didn't know me at all. So I came out with my walker, and I could hear the other team sort of looking at me, sort of whispering to themselves like, what the heck, we've never seen that, what's going on here? Kind of smirking, laughing a little bit, chuckling, and I was like, I got this. So
you were getting amped up with that, right? You were like, yes.
They were amping me up a little bit, not gonna lie. And so the paramedics came over, and my coach came over. They said, "You ready? We'll be right over here." And so I was like, I'm gonna put on a little bit of a show today. So what I did is I dove into the water and I held my breath for as long as I could underneath the water. So everybody started freaking out. Everybody came over to me, and then I popped up out of the water like a freaking dolphin, started going. So I scared everybody a little bit. Finished, did what I did.
I bet he did.
Everybody's like, I could hear him. Everybody was like, is he coming back up? Is he coming up? And right as they were getting ready to pull me, I came up out of the water and did what I needed to do to finish that day.
You should have came out and said, woo!
Right, for real.
Yeah, good old Ric Flair, woo!
Needed to make them a little nervous after I had heard what was said. And they didn't think, that I heard them.
Yeah.
Or they didn't think,
it's just fuel to the
that
fire.
it mattered.
Oh, yeah.
And then after the race, the oddest thing happened. They all came over, asked me questions, said, so proud of you, this and that. And, it was a great time. I did a lot of handicap sports throughout the years. Did baseball for about maybe 5-6 years.
Yeah, Danny
So
did
handicap baseball was really fun.
adapted, yeah.
Adapted baseball.
So Danny, let me go back to your point when the other team that was jeering and talking shit to you or about you, when they came up to you after the race, right?
It felt great.
And they were, talking to you and interviewing you.
Yeah.
You know what that's called? Respect.
Yep.
You earned their respect, and you earned a lot of confidence in doing that. So I love that.
Absolutely. And it was a great way for me to prove to myself that I can do something special. And if I could do one of the main things that I had to prove was if I could look like handicap Barry Bonds doing handicap baseball, if I could do the Special Olympic stuff for the middle school and high school stuff, why can't I do swimming? And I knew that I'm not the fastest guy because I'm only swimming with my arms and a torso. But, if I could at least keep up with you, then I'll have a good day. And swimming's one of those sports where your points count for the team. Of course they do, but swimming's more of an individual thing. So how can you do your strokes correctly to get more points? How fast you finish? How much time you shave off? So I knew if I did the best that I could, shaved off a couple seconds each time, did my strokes correctly, I would give the team points, right? Without even placing first.
Yep.
So I knew as long as I did my job well, I may not be first, but I could still get us some points.
Yep.
And those points mattered quite a bit. As a matter of fact, so much so that not that I did this because I didn't, but I was still on the team. So water polo, right? Water polo, swim, and diving, they're all kind of in the same season. And the coach loved what I did so much that he would keep me in as standby for those things just
Imagine
in case.
that. Water polo.
Just in case.
Tough sport.
Just in case somebody got injured. Now in swimming, I shaved off. Well, my first race, I believe I finished around 4 minutes, 20 seconds. When the season was over, I shaved off a minute of time.
I got to add
Well-
to that, Danny, because this is really important.
Mhm.
Is when Danny shaved off all those minutes at the end of the season, I got to look up the video. I have of that too from years ago. He actually walked up with arm crutches to receive the award from the swimming coach, which was really, really amazing, you know. And then, you know, I look at Danny right now, you know, and I think I got a bad day. Or I think sometimes like I wake up and I don't feel like going to work. We all get those days, right? Danny inspires me 1,000 times. I mean, 1,000,000,000 times, however you want to say it. But Danny's motivation made me the type of father I am today, made me the type of coach I am today, made me make it keep going on and on and on. All those hats I wear today, a lot of it comes from Danny's blood. It comes from Danny's hard work and watching him struggle. And back to being a young dad, right? Like, yeah, I was wrestling football, and you know, Danny, I saw the struggles Danny was going through, and I'm like, it really inspired me. Danny inspired me to be the best I could be. And I remember I was always, again, you know, nowhere near Danny's ability, right? I could never catch up to what Danny's done. But I wanted to work out hard and try to be close to him if I can. And I remember, you know, I was undersized playing football and wrestling. And I remember one of my old coaches back in high school told me, I was only, you know, $130, you know, I was not a big guy. But he's like, you know, I love your heart. I love your hard work. He's like, man, if some of these football players and wrestlers that are a lot bigger, 6'6", 330, had your type of heart, we could win a whole hell of a lot of football games. And he's like, but there's something that I would like you to do. So I used to always work out with like the bigger linemen, the linebackers. When I wrestled, I always worked around with the bigger guys. And they're like, hey, you should try a new sport out. And I'm like, a new sport? What do you mean? You should get involved in powerlifting. And I watched again, Danny's struggles. And I'm like, I got into powerlifting for mental health just to keep me, you know, going through more or less being healthy, but two, you know, let my aggression out a little bit, but take it out on the weights, I like to call it. So I remember I tried out and I got into powerlifting and I took a bunch of state and national titles, and the bench press is where I started. I've done 3 lifts, but the bench press is my main big lift I always loved. And I remember I was 19 years old, 18, 19, and I went down to Nanticoke, Pennsylvania, and I don't even know if they still do the contest anymore, but it was something in the words of like the Top Gun Nanticoke Bench Press Championship or whatever. And that's when I weighed like 123 pounds, hardly nothing, light guy, because I'm a lightweight wrestler, you know, and I'm pressing, you know, 250 to 275. If you do the math pound for pound, it's a lot of, that'd be like a guy 400 or 200 pounds benching way up there. So pound for pound formula kicks in there. And then, you know, it made me who I am today because, you know, I won a lot of gold medals in powerlifting. I loved coaching, inspiring others. One, because I saw Danny's struggles and what he went through. And I just wanted to give to others around me because as a coach today, I mean, I've coached high school, professional athletes. One of my most awesome things I ever did is when I retired, I walked out with the co-main event, UFC 297, walked out with one of the fighters to the octagon. My hairs are like standing up
Heck yeah.
talking about that right now, but I'm a big MMA guy. I love any type of sport, anything in life where you have to fight through things. A curse word is I can't. I hate when people say I can't do this or I don't think no, we don't. You
I
can't.
just haven't accomplished that yet.
Yeah,
That's it.
you you can do this.
Mhm.
So everything I've worked with in my life and I have achieved, going to college, you mentioned earlier, Johnny, like I got my associate degree in sports management because I love sports so much. And then the second thing, I went for kinesiology. I wanted to learn about the human body. One, because of Danny. As a younger person, I wanted to learn the genetic makeup and how his mind and body works, the nervous system, muscles, so that way I could help out others and I could train others to be not only a great person in their community and able to walk or wherever their possible conditions could be, but maybe the best athlete. All right. Maybe you're someone that were always told you're undersized. Or maybe you're a big guy, but you were told you couldn't move laterally or you couldn't jump. That's where a strength and conditioning coach comes in. And that leads into my powerlifting and all that stuff we talked about earlier. But I've been coaching athletes for over 30 years now, and when I retired out of the military, been all over the world, deployments, been all over the country. I'm blessed because I've seen a lot of great things. I've seen a lot of bad things, but it definitely made me who I am today, and Danny's made me who I am today. And when I retired, my wife Sarah. I love her so much. So I'm married, and I got Danny and three beautiful girls. I call it my busload of Bedfords. And my girls are all little athletes too. I push them to achieve anything they put their mind to it. I always tell them, when you set a goal, there's no quitting. If it gets hard, we got to get tougher. When times get tough, you got to get tougher. And I retired, and I remember I'm sitting home. My wife's like, "Well, what are you going to do now? You're out of the military." I said, "Well, I'm going to keep training athletes." I said, "But I just love football." And I connected with UTSA, and I was down there with their college football program. And the guys will tell you down there, like, I lived in the squat rack from January until about June. I was down there and just really just donate my time. It was a seasonal intern position. But like anything in life, all your successful coaches out there, like your John Grudens and whoever you may follow, they all started somewhere too.
Yep.
And I realized that. I said, I'm not, Master Sergeant Bedford anymore. I'm just Dan Bedford in these guys' eyes. I mean, they may know me as Coach Dan with DB Fitness and some things. They could find me pretty easy on social media. But I mean, they kind of believed in me. They brought me down. I love the coaching staff down there at UTSA, and I was able to learn a lot from some guys that have trained NFL players. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And then, June comes along, Johnny, and they're like, I found out that there was a marketing job coming up. And before I got out of the military, I did a lot of marketing for the Air Force and the Air National Guard, and I worked with all the different components of the Air Force. And they're like, hey, we love your background. How about we still keep you in the building where the weight room is and where the football guys are at? But maybe help us out. And there's this company called Playfly that I currently work for. And they work hand in hand to help out UTSA market and bring in certain brands and highlight their football team and their brands, and just not football, but all sports, basketball, soccer, you name it. So here I am out there just doing something I love right now. When people ask me, like, do you love what you're doing right now? I said, yeah, well, one, I love being a dad. I love being a husband. I love my wife. And I love coaching. I love pushing athletes to the next level. But now I'm working and giving confidence to brands out there. So I've been really lucky and fortunate in my life to work around some really cool people and cool brands like UFC, Major League Baseball. I mean, you name it, college sports, I've been there, but UTSA, I'll kind of stop here for a minute, but UTSA had a big win last week. So I was very proud of
Good job, boy.
Tulane.
Tulane. You want to talk about David and Goliath, right? Where I want to say the guys were like a 5 or 6 point underdog down there.
Really?
Yeah, against Tulane. Tulane top 25 team. And, Coach Traylor down there is doing a great job with those kids. Those coaches are outstanding at UTSA. And, I've watched, I've learned a lot from them. And just, it was awesome to see them pull out a victory. Not only a victory, But they got Tulane pretty good last Thursday night live on ESPN.
Nice.
That was a great
Yep.
game.
Nice.
Danny, did you go to the game?
Yes, I did.
How was that?
It was fantastic. Yeah, I had a friend fly in, a gaming buddy of mine. He flew in from Tokyo. He said, is there anything cool to do? I said, well, we've got Comic-Con and a whole bunch of other things to do. But my dad had mentioned that he could get us some tickets for the football game, and my friend had never seen American football at all. So I was like, "Would you be down to go in the game with me, brother?" So we went down to the game and had a great time. It was a great game.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Dan, coaching is in your blood.
Oh,
So the coaching aspect, that's instrumental to, life.
oh,
And there's athletes that need more coaching than others, and I'm sure you've seen that. You've seen players developing and people that need other, things. Do you see today's athlete as more coachable than in the 90s, or how's the dynamic there?
I think
Because now you got
they're
social media and all these
yeah.
influencing.
I think
items.
back in the day, I feel old saying that, right? But like guys in the 70s and 80s and 90s, the game of football and the way athletes are today, are different. It's like times, people always ask me, "Hey, describe yourself. You ever watch Cobra Kai, Johnny?"
Yeah.
Right? That's me. I'm Johnny. I like Trans
Sweep the
Am.
leg, Johnny.
Oh, yeah, I like sweep the leg.
Yeah.
So I like Trans Am's, cassette tapes. I like the old school, Rocky movies. But
Blue jean jackets.
yeah, but younger kids today, if you ask them, I'm a big wrestling guy. I love Ric Flair and Macho Man. And, you ask them who these people are, even Michael Jordan. I mean, your basketball people everyone kind of knows who Michael Jordan is. But, my point is times have changed a little bit. Like back when I worked out, we used to have the old John Weider weights, and I used to coach high school football for years. I was a head coach in the past too. And I used to coach this team. I mean, I'm talking 30 years of coaching now, Johnny, but way back, many years I could talk about. But back in 97, I was coaching in Taylor, Pennsylvania for a high school called Riverside Vikings. And we went to the state championship in Pennsylvania that year. So high school in Pennsylvania is really big. All right. Like Texas, you get a lot of quarterbacks that come out of Pennsylvania, some big kids. Obviously, Friday Night Lights in Texas, kind of different type of football, right? But that team, we had a shed, a field house with like Joe Weider weights, a curl bar, a bench, 2 rusted squat racks. And I used to always tell the kids, I said, it's not about having the big fancy, cars when you're driving in or the big fancy weight rooms, 2 floors with a running track going around it. Trust me, I love all that stuff. All right. But it's about the mentality. It's about lifting the weights. It's about working out hard when no one's watching. It's like Danny. I used to get him in the pool at our house and swim. No one was watching him, but he was working his ass off for his next swim meet. It's like these kids I train in the weight room today. It's all about the hard work and, screw the fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you didn't need the fancy things.
Right.
Give me some weights.
We didn't care about that stuff.
No, go run outside. I remember back in the day, my dad was in the Army. He served in the government over 30 some years. And, I remember as a kid growing up, besides learning from Danny's struggles, my dad used to come in and do the old finger test on the dresser. So everyone else was going down to the pool hall, playing pool. I'm like, man, I want to go hang out with my friends and go check out the girls, right? But my dad's like, you're not going anywhere because you got to earn money to go to the pool hall. My dad never gave me anything. He did when he had to, when I needed it. He never wanted to see me fall on my face. But overall, my dad taught me hard work. You want to go play with your friends? Shovel some snow for Mary next door that can't get out of her house. Shovel her car out. or cut her grass, and he would come in and do the finger test. So besides trying to earn money, Johnny, I had the finger test of dust. You know what I'm talking about? That?
Yep. I was an Air Force drill instructor, so I know
You know about the finger test? Yeah, yeah.
for dust. If there's dust there, you need to clean it, right?
Yeah.
And I love that. Your dad taught you something. He didn't give you anything. You earned everything. And that's the way I was raised, Dan.
Oh,
I didn't get nothing for free, just for being alive.
oh
Just
yeah.
just for breathing. No, I had to earn it. And I have that same mentality with my children. I'm not just going to give you an allowance. Kids are like, oh, where's my allowance? I'm not going to give you anything. You got to earn it. And I said this on a previous podcast, Dan. The best thing my dad ever gave me on my 18th birthday was the light bill and the phone bill. He gave me responsibility because he always told me once you turn 18, you're going to start paying bills. And I worked at Walgreens at the time.
There you go.
And I started paying half of the light bill, half of the phone bill. And at the time I was like, why am I paying this? But it taught me a lot about life and responsibility and obligations and taking care of what I had to take care of before I can go out to the pool hall and all these other things. Nobody lives for free in my dad's house.
That is
Either
awesome.
you're going to pay something or you're going to pay with service. Like right now, my girls, they don't have to pay me monetarily. They pay me with service to be
100%.
living there. And it's just simple things like that a lot of people don't really can't grasp. But you have to have that blue collar, that work ethic, that tough dad or parent or some mentor that's going to give you the real deal about life. And mentoring and support doesn't comfort you. It toughens you up. It's not there to comfort you.
100%.
Because if you're there to get comforted, they're not helping you in any way.
You know, you achieve things in life, Johnny, when you're uncomfortable. You know, people think I'm crazy because they always tell me, Dan, how'd you do all these things in your life? And because I put myself in uncomfortable situations. I've learned from it, which made me strong today. From all my military days to my coaching days. A lot of my friends, they'll tease me now because, I kind of traded in my weight belt a little bit for some slacks and a dress belt with my job I do now. But I'm still Coach Dan. I'm still training. One of my favorite things I love to do is just challenge my athletes. Like at the end of my workouts, and the ones that watch this, they'll be chuckling and laughing because they'll know what I'm talking about. But I like to throw a little extra weight on the bar, do an extra rep, because Johnny, it's the extra rep in life that makes us better. It's the extra rep. It's the not quitting. It's, if you got 225 on the bar, let's go 230. Or if I'm telling you to do 225 for whatever, rep it out, do an extra rep. All the athletes I train, they lose it because half the time they're like, geez, he just told me to do 8 reps. I'm like, all right, 5 more, 9, 10, 11. I keep pushing them till they fail. Because failure is not a bad thing. Failure is a great thing.
It's necessary.
Yes, because you learn how to fall on your face. You learn what that tastes like, and you don't like it. It's like my 3 girls are into basketball. And my little one, Zoe, she's a little point guard, 8th grade at Long Creek, New Braunfels Middle School up the road here. And I love watching her play. She's a little spitfire, the smallest one on the court, probably the smallest one in the conference, but she has no quit attitude. She's dribbling around the big girls. In fact, she's doing things that are pretty amazing, Johnny. Like I was at a game last week and I'm like, is that my girl? Is that Zoe going around the back between the legs hitting the J? Like, is that Kobe Bryant I'm watching? I didn't teach her that. I always tell people she learned that from her mom. But but it's amazing. But back to teaching our kids, Johnny, like you taught yours. You got to teach your kids that life ain't easy. And I tell my kids, and Danny knows this, he hears me say it a lot, but mom and dad, we're not going to be around forever. Life is so short. It's a short span. We're on this planet, and you got to make the best of it. And why not make the best of it? Not only about doing it for us, it's doing it about others.
Right.
It's about giving to others. Some of the best football teams I've been around, best athletes, powerlifting teams, military teams I've been around in the past, it's brotherhood, and we stuck together no matter what. And it's about watching out, giving to others, and your most productive teams in life are the teams around you. The more you develop your team around you, you're making a lot of leaders, right? So the more leaders I can develop around me is going to make me a better leader.
Right.
And people lose focus of that. There's a lot of coaches out there and trainers and military leaders, civilian world, I'm sure you guys have ran into them. It's winning, 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 winning. Everything's about winning. Trust me, I like to win. Okay? I'm not saying winning's bad. I love winning. But it's more than just about winning. It's about developing a team. It's about developing others around you. As a dad, I look at my family, Johnny, maybe like you do. I look at my family. I look at Danny as a part of the Bedford team. We all work together to get the chores done around the house. We all work together to help out others around us to make them the best person they could be. And I know later on down the road, God forbid, if something happens to me when I walk out of this set today, or if it's 40 years down the road, at least I know I did it right.
Yep.
I did it right.
100%. And leadership is the art of influence and inspiring others to get the job done as well at any cost. One thing, being a coach, I wasn't an actual coach where I coach people, but I was an instructor.
Oh,
So I coached people. As I, grew in the ranks, I coached people. And there's two things that I taught them: stand up when a man shakes your hand. And also, when a leader walks in the room and starts doing push-ups, you better get your ass on that floor and start doing push-ups as well. And they would say, "How many are we doing?" I said, "All of them." It didn't
Yes.
matter. You
Yes.
you do it until exhaustion. And I don't know if you do anything, any kind of, things like that you have up your sleeve with the
Yeah,
guys at
I
UTSA or
always tell
whatever.
people, I'm giving my age again, but I know more games than PS2. Well, maybe it's PS5 now or
Mhm.
whatever it is. I grew up on Atari,
Yeah, same here.
but
Miss
yeah,
Pac-Man.
yeah, Space Invaders and all that, right? Back before Space Force came out,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They had Space Invaders. But no, I agree. I got definitely a lot of tools that I use a lot with these athletes. If we're working on vertical jumps, I'll just challenge them, like keep going until I say stop, because it's the fourth quarter.
And you have to show them that you have the ability to do this
Oh
stuff as
yeah,
well.
and another thing too is like you talk about leadership and ability, Johnny. This is like I'll never tell anyone to do something that I can't do myself. And that's why like a lot of people will tell me like what's a great trait of you being a coach is because I lead from the front. I've learned a lot of that from the military, but I learned that being a young dad. I learned that from my parents. My dad taught me that. You lead from the front, son. You don't tell someone to do something if you can't do it. Like even now, yeah, my back hurts and I got some injuries from being in the military and different things, but I'll damn right demonstrate a rep. I'll get behind that bar if I need
Yeah.
to.
Suck it up.
Oh, sometimes you got to suck it up, tighten up that weight belt, and I used to call it "suck it up, buttercup."
Yeah.
And my dad did the same thing that you were brought up, Johnny, when you're talking about working. What did you say, Walmart earlier
Walgreens.
or Walgreens? My
Mhm.
bad. When you're working at Walgreens, my dad said, "You want a car someday?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." I was a young dad, young kid. And he said, "Well, if you want to work, you got to work to get a car." And I always loved the 1988 IROC T-top Camaro. I
Black.
used to, yeah.
Black. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I remember I saved up my money working at Wendy's. So everyone else was given money. Some worked for it. I had some friends that were tough, had tough parents. But, I worked, saved up my money, and Wendy's took me about 3 years to save it up. But I bought myself an IROC Camaro. And I thought I was a badass driving around with that.
Because minimum wage back then, Dan, was what? 'Cause I know Wendy's didn't pay no $15 an hour.
No, they don't pay $15 or $20 an hour. Like back then was $3.75 an hour. That's a
what I
lot of
made.
hours I had to do to get an
That's what I
IROC
made.
My
Camaro.
first job was $5.75.
Yeah.
$5.75.
That would have been a
I
$2
remember
raise
that.
for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 So when I would work, I worked about 30 hours a week, and I would get a check for like $110. I was like, man, this is a great check.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Crazy how times have changed.
And when we lived out in California, Danny worked too. Another big thing he did was we worked out he worked at Lake Elsinore Storm, which is the single A club for the San Diego Padres, hence to why I became a Padre fan.
Ah.
I used to love the Padres. I used to live in by Camp Pendleton when I was
Oh,
growing up.
yeah.
Benito Santiago and Tony Gwynn,
Oh,
best hitter of all time.
Trevor Hoffman, Hell's
Oh,
Bells. Come
see,
on.
that's a little bit more recent, but
Yeah.
back in the day, Eric Shaw, the pitcher, and all that.
Tony Gwynn. I mean, what was that? Raleigh Fingers. Remember? I used to.
Yeah, Jack Clark.
Oh, geez, yeah.
That's when baseball was really, really good.
So you bring up Camp Pendleton. That's my old stomping grounds. It's where I met my wife.
I lived in Fallbrook.
Oh, I know right where Fallbrook is at, right at the back gate.
Yep.
Right off the back gate there. And I used to hang out at Pachanga a lot. It's where we used to have our Marine Corps balls, the ball there in Pachanga. And it's funny because you're probably like, wait a minute, I thought he said he was Air Force Marine, right? So
Yeah, you were in the Marine Corps. Did I mention that to start the show?
Yeah.
Did I?
Marine
Okay.
Corps, yep. But for people that watch this, they don't realize that you could do multiple components if you want. So I started off in the Marine Corps, and there's a story behind that. I went down to Lackawanna Avenue in Scranton years ago, and I remember I was going down there to join the military, and all the recruiters were busy. You have to do waivers in the military to get in for certain things, and the Marine Corps gave me my chance because we had to do a waiver being a young dad at the time. It's before I met my current wife, and we had 3 beautiful girls together right now, and the Marine Corps took me in, and the Marine Corps kind of gave me the backbone of who I am today, and I went into Marines and did a little stint there, and then married. A couple kids later, and my wife's like, maybe you should try something else. And I was like, oh man, you know how the Marines are in the Army. They'll tease the Air Force. Oh, it's the Air Force. Don't go in there. And I had to humble myself, Johnny, because at the time I was like, man, I don't know if I could do this, the Air Force. And then a buddy of mine was up at March Air Reserve Base in Moreno Valley, and he's like, you should really try the Air Force, man. I mean, the Marines, you've been digging enough ditches and eating MREs.
Yeah.
Try the Air Force out. It's
They eat steak and lobster.
steak, lobster, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this out. And it was the best thing I ever did because I learned, and the way my mind is, I wanted to conquer the ground, and I wanted to conquer the air power. And I'm like, and I just wanted to conquer everything. And I'm still not done conquering things yet. But there's still some other goals I have later on in life. But I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I didn't even know at the time I could do that.
And Dan, you scored well enough on the ASVAB test to join the Air Force.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe that because when I went in, the old joke is, how many crayons you could eat, right? So when I was going up there as a jarhead, Marine, I was like, man, the Air Force is not going to take me. I didn't even thought they would laugh at me, like, the Air Force teases us a lot.
Yeah, the way the Marines tease the Air Force on being wimpy, the Air Force teases the Marines on being not so smart.
Yes, on the mind.
Yes.
But you needed to be very smart there on the mental side, and that I had some smarts. So the Air Force was like, hey, we'll get you in, and you want to be a crew chief, you like working with your hands. And I said, yeah, I used to build some cars with my dad in Scranton back in the garage. My dad used to have some beautiful cars.
Really?
77 Corvette.
Is that why you wanted that car that you wanted when you were younger?
Yeah. My dad loved old muscle cars, 1970s stuff.
And Jay Leno stuff.
Yeah, and I was like, I could try this crew chief thing out, and with the Air Force, and obviously that led me into recruiting and marketing towards the end of my career. But I gave myself a nickname because when I went in, they're like, well, you know what? We'll make you a crew chief, but Air Force, we really don't like weapons too much. Our number one goal is to get planes in the air, and a lot of the Air Force guys, they just didn't like to handle M16s at the time. Now they got M4s, and
that's for the Army Marines.
Yeah, right. So I gave myself actually I think they gave it to me, but I kept with it, was a Merriman. They're like, what the hell's a Merriman? I said, I'm a half Marine, half Airman. So I'm a Merriman. I'm my own category.
Yeah.
So, but I loved it. Not to knock, being in the military like yourself, Johnny, it's nice to joke around different branches. I mean, I have Navy friends of mine. I used to make fun of them, and they would make fun of me, like, hey, Bedford, go eat some crayons. And I used to tell them, like, just remember, you may be teasing me now. I know my check's paid for by the Department of the Navy, but we're the men's department of the Navy. You need Marines to keep you safe. So
that's right.
Yeah.
So what's the scene towards the other brand? what is it, Navy?
Well, the Navy's more girly, I would say, and I'll keep it user friendly.
User friendly.
Yeah, just they're more girly.
Yeah.
The Army is just a bunch of grunts. They're not so smart either.
Yeah.
Marine Corps,
Okay.
same category.
Yeah.
The Air Force is the elite,
Yeah.
smartest.
Smart. And now you got the Space Force, and I don't even know. That's a whole other category, you know. But
Yeah, I don't know what their dynamic is yet. I
They're
mean,
just working on building the Death Star, I think.
There you
yeah,
go,
they're
the
working
Death
on
Star.
building the Death Star. You know, that's a
There
good
you go.
analogy there, Danny. You know,
but the Space Force is pretty cool. They're in their infancy.
yeah, yeah.
They do the cyber jobs, the computer jobs, and things like that the Air Force used to do.
You
So they
know,
just got transferred over, right?
yeah, and what's really cool with the Space Force, and not that I'm selling it, but I kind of liked it, is, you know, the last few years before I got out, you know, Space Force came about, you know, during the Trump administration.
Right.
And I was like, man, you know, Space Force is kind of cool. I think like Darth Vader, Stormtroopers, and me and
Yeah.
Danny love comic books, and we love Star Wars, and I'm like, it's kind of cool, but, you know, a lot of their recruitment right now, what I learned, I mean, things could have changed in a year and a half. Things changed quick, but right before I got out, EA Sports, the gaming community was very big
Mm-hmm.
in going after gamers because drones, right?
Mm.
So now instead of flying, you know, playing Call of Duty or playing games, now you're doing real life games.
Yeah.
So the Space Force, yeah, they're in the Air Force, you know, they look for these different type of skill sets, and they're after those gamers nowadays,
That's
you
cool.
know. And to Danny, you know, Danny loves gaming.
Danny's a big
I'll
gamer,
never
I heard.
challenge Danny in anything when it comes to gaming. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I like football, so I bought him NCAA college football came back. So
There you
thank
go.
God that did. That was
That's
my
a good
favorite
game.
video game.
Great game.
So I played him in a game. I say, all right, we're gonna play some
See what
college
you got.
football. Right? He smoked me. Like I think I know football. Danny knows every player. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Who do you play with? UTSA?
He played me with UTSA. I dabble around with all sorts of different teams because each playbook is different.
Yeah, it
Obviously.
is.
So I like to be a jack of all trades, but I primarily play with our home state, which is Penn State. I like to play with Penn State quite a bit, but yeah, no, gaming for me is a good way. Yeah, like a good way for me to get out and be social with people. My network with gaming is huge because you meet people from all over the world, regardless of what game you're playing, and you build lifelong friendships. And so it's great. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I went to a football game with a friend. He came all the way from Tokyo
Tokyo, Japan.
to visit me, and I was like, what the heck, you know? I was like, I thought, you know, it's just a gaming buddy. He had some business to attend to with his family. He said, how far away are you from a place called San Antonio? And I was like, we can definitely make things happen. So we hung out for about a week, you know. We went to
So cool.
Comic-Con last weekend, had a great time. I'm a big old nerd geek. I love all that stuff. So the gaming opportunities gave me a bunch of lifelong friends that I have, and it gives me the ability, you know, because of my physical impairment, maybe I can't get out as much as I'd like, but it gives me an opportunity to socialize, to build a network, maybe not just with people right in front of you, but people all over the world.
Yeah.
So my connections there in the virtual space are pretty much the sky's the limit with what I can do. So it gives me a nice opportunity to, you know, build friendships, be in communication, use my mind, because gaming strategies, you know, keep your mind sharp.
Keep your mind fresh.
If you wanna be winning, you know, you gotta strategize, think things through. So gaming keeps me sharp and gives me an opportunity to, you know, socialize, build my network, and
I gotta
gives me
ask.
Yeah.
a great workaround from
I was gonna
being able to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, so like when did you start seeing that community? Because you're in your 30s, I'm in my 30s as well. So growing with Xbox and PlayStation, now
Yeah,
PC being a
yeah.
huge thing now, right? What do you play on, by the way?
I play on PlayStation.
PlayStation?
I'm a PlayStation guy.
There you
go. Recently, I think the console wars are pretty much over, being that everything is crossplay. Not to get too nerdy
It's like
here,
Apple,
yeah, no,
Apple
you're
and Android.
There you go.
but everything
Yeah.
is crossplay now. So
Yeah.
it's great because I have friends on Xbox and PC, and we all game together.
Yeah.
Now, the gaming group is great because, like I said, I may not be able to get out a lot, but that gives me my network, my connection to not only the community here, but worldwide. So I think that's very important.
I feel the same thing about that, bro. I have 3 to 4 buddies who I've never met in face to face before, but we talk every day.
Yep.
Because we game every day, right?
Yeah, no, and I've known my gaming group for like 15 years.
Wow.
The guy that just that I linked up with last week, we've known each other for 8 years, almost 9 years.
That's awesome.
So there wasn't too much of a shock meeting him, because the more you talk to someone, you could kind of lie and fib, but the more that you talk to someone day to day, their true colors are going to come out, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Danny,
You're
so
correct.
is this individual you met from Japan, is he Japanese or he's American?
He's Japanese, yes, sir.
All right. So it's funny. So I do some gaming from time to time, but the only people that I talk to are these little assholes talking shit to me on Madden or on Call of Duty or something. So I can never build relationships with those guys. If they came to visit me, it'd probably be to beat my ass.
Yeah.
Or
so that was
something like
that's
that.
kind of my next question is, so what game did you meet these friends in as well?
Well, I'm very smart. I don't like to play with a lot of the squeaker community.
Okay.
Now, what the squeaker community is it's the younger community. They're all
Those are the guys.
Never heard of the squeaky?
Those are the guys that I don't like.
Yeah.
They're called the squeakers, right? Because they're little. They haven't hit puberty. Their balls haven't dropped yet. They're squeaking. So the squeaker.
I've never heard this before.
Yeah.
Okay.
The squeaker community. So the way to get around that is, I'm not sure if they can do that on Xbox or PC or other consoles, but you can set it to like a chat room. So what I do is I set up a chat room, and I set a limit. So only people that I'm familiar with can they talk to me. So I don't have to put up with a lot of the squeaker community a lot. So what I do is I have it on a one-way channel. I could hear what people are saying, but they can't hear me, and thank God, because I'm pretty, I'm pretty bold with it.
Are you pretty out there with
I'm
it?
pretty out of pocket. So I have it on a one-way channel to where I could hear what's going on in the game, and I press a button when I want them to hear me.
Yeah.
So unless I like you or I need to talk some shit, you're not going to hear me.
There you go.
So
I got to add into something because this is funny, but
Yeah.
I'll get to the funny piece in a second. But I want to capitalize on something that's huge right here. Is Danny's got friends from all over the country, all over the world, because success is contagious. When you succeed in life and you see people hitting their goals, hence why I love coaching so much and being a dad, right? I like to just be a leader, be the best role model I could be for people. Danny's a role model. I can't believe that. I remember when Danny just told me, I found out about his friend coming from Tokyo, Japan a month ago. He's like, oh, Dad, by the way, my friend wants to come over from Japan to visit. I'm like, what Japan? I'm like, is he American? Or no, he lives in Japan. He's one of my gaming friends. He wants to come visit me, and we're going to meet up at Comic-Con. So that is huge. Success is contagious. And then the funny piece is, it's funny because he talks about talking crap and everything. And, his room's on the first floor at our house.
Oh, he hears me at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so sometimes, I'll wake up in the middle of the night because I'm old and I got to piss, right? And I'm like, down, cover. Cover. I'm like, what is going on? It's Danny downstairs.
It's loud, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm loud.
So sometimes I got to go down there and knock on the door. I'm like, oh, Danny, I want to interrupt your game. But, it sounds like, World War II's going on here, something's going on. But it's funny.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
Us old people got to sleep.
Yeah. And Yeah, I get loud, I'm sure, but I don't hear it because I have
the headphones.
the noise canceling
Yeah.
headphones, so I don't know how loud I'm
So,
actually.
Dan, you need noise canceling headphones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I need it.
Dad needs my extra pair because I
Oh,
get
yeah.
pretty loud.
There's one time my buddy came over to the house and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I want you to meet Dan. You know, I told my friend I want you to meet Danny. You know, so well, first I took him through a workout. You know, he worked out in the garage. You know, it's one of those things. You know, if you come meet me, like anyone that knows, like Coach Dan, DB Fitness, I'm known as the chain guy. Like when you come, I'm actually had people stop by my house, not even to lift, but hey, gotta get a picture of you and me with chains around our neck, some damn chains around your neck. It's my thing I use a lot.
Some John Cena and
Yeah,
Vince McMahon
yeah.
type
So,
stuff.
just something about having some chains around your neck, you know, especially doing dips with chains, right?
Manly, like
Yeah, like some
Her-
chains around.
Hercules, the
Hercules.
wrestler.
Yeah,
Remember him?
The Hercules wrestler?
I remember her. Yeah,
Hercules Hernandez. Was that his name?
I
Was it
forget,
Hercules?
but yeah.
Look him up, Jamie.
Okay.
But my buddy
Hercules
came
Hernandez.
over, took him through a workout. Obviously, we got some damn chains around our neck, right? And we come in, he's gonna go and make him a protein shake, and he's like, it was funny, you know, it was Peter, actually, our friend Peter, one of my clients I train, and
I
he's like,
Pete,
what's?
too, yeah.
He loves Peter. He's from New
Yeah.
York, loves the Yankees. I'll
Good
forgive him
guy,
there.
big Yankee.
But
guy.
yeah, big Yankees fan. But yeah, he's what the hell's going on? Danny's gaming. You know, you could hear Danny screaming and yelling in the room and getting after it a little bit,
yeah.
and it's funny. Danny for sure gets into it, you know. But
Yeah.
but back to I want to circle back a little bit, Johnny, when you're mentioning about training and
There he is.
oh
Real quick,
yeah,
There's a change right
yeah.
there.
Let's look at
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Dude.
Look how yoked that guy
Look at
is.
that.
He's definitely on some salad and water.
That's the way I looked in my 4th year in the Air Force. It's
Yeah.
like that
Fourth
guy.
year in the Air Force. That's
yeah.
why you
My-
joined
my
the Air
fourth year,
Force.
yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember Bruiser Brody there, Dan?
Oh, I need to look that up.
Bruiser
now.
Brody? Oh,
Oh,
man.
He had, he
I
had
used
the
to
big
love
chains.
who's the guy that would knock you out and cut your hair? Brutus the Barber,
Beefcake.
Beefcake.
Yeah. I'm
Remember
surprised
who's the
strong
guy
guy.
that used to eat the George the Animal Steel?
Right.
Eat the turnbuckles. You know,
So Bruiser Brody was
Just look at this
he was
here,
one of my
so-
he was one of my favorites, Bruiser Brody. Oh, I didn't take it back.
Yeah.
Come on.
Really quick, if I could take a second, 'cause
Yeah,
this,
go ahead.
this is a really cool nugget that I want to share, and it links back to my disability and people with disabilities, even though I think that the disability is just a word, right? So big thing with my gaming is I video game with one hand because of how my disability works. I can't use my left hand. So
Wait, hold on.
basically,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like, how
I-
are you? Yeah, what do you mean?
my gamer tag is one hand bandit, right? That's
the one hand bandit.
yeah. So
Let's look
basically,
at-
That,
so
that can get taken out of context.
yes,
too.
it can in the past. It's a big joke between me and the fellas. you
Yeah,
know,
that could be
little
taken
bit.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a gag there, but it's really cool because of how my disability works for me, and it's different with everybody with CP has a different sort of case. No cases are alike. It's different individually from person to person, but with me, my left side of the body is more affected, so I can't use like my left hand pretty much at all. So I can make a fist, I can hold things, and I can use this finger and my thumb. So what I do is I rest the gaming controller on my kneecap, and then my left arm keeps it in place, and I do everything with my right. So I'm pretty much one-handed gamer, and I do really well.
And you're better than most.
I am better
Probably
than
way
most.
better than me.
Actually, I enter tournaments all the time.
Actually
I-
wins
yeah.
money. I'm like, what the
I
heck?
win money sometimes, you know. So
Do you stream at all?
I tried it, but it's I'm not a guy that likes talking to himself.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
getting that engagement going, and
pretty
plus
tough.
the camera angle would be kind of weird if
On
it's
the
on my
yeah.
knee. You know,
Okay.
I don't know how to make that work. But people have told me that I should think
should.
about the streaming thing.
You should.
But I'm not big into talking to myself. I'm big into focusing into the game. So maybe if I had like a partner, it would be different, or an organization, it'd be different. But just solo,
I think if you just started it, bro, and some way, like, don't do it every day if you don't feel comfortable not doing it every day. But if you
Yeah.
did it at some sort and just showed people what you did, you might get somebody to what you're
Sponsor
talking
you.
about sponsor, because I've seen people
That's big time.
that can't even use their hands, and
Yeah.
they've
The
made these
mouthpiece,
the
the breather, yes,
mouthpieces,
it's-
yes.
Mouthpiece,
I play
wow.
with somebody.
Yeah.
I play with somebody that does
Really?
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we joke back and forth about that. But yeah, no, the gaming community is great. And like I said, I'm a one-handed gamer there, but I don't let it stop me. And what's great about the game is
That's awesome.
nobody knows I'm handicapped unless I tell you.
Yeah.
Because my gameplay,
You're just kicking
not that I'm
everybody's ass.
hyping myself up here, but my gameplay is so good that people don't even notice. And
That's
most
awesome, man.
gamers don't pay attention. So pretty much the only games that I'm not playing are racing ones.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I
That-
mean,
that's-
I could play
Danny,
I could
Danny's
play
gaming is
I could play
Danny, I had a-
everything underneath the sun. You know, I play college football. I play Call of Duty, Madden a lot. Fortnite, you got to get those.
All right,
You
man.
gotta
You
get it,
got to add
yeah.
me on Call of Duty then.
And then Marvel Rivals, I'm big into that right now. Yep. So
That's cool, man.
gaming is very, very cool, and you know,
Danny, I'm gonna
A
get on
very
there and
big part of what I do.
I'm gonna talk to you and I'm gonna talk shit to you to make you even better.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
that one category.
Yeah,
what was
right.
it?
I'm gonna
The
make you even
squeaker.
better.
The squeaker. You're gonna be the squeaker.
He's gonna be a
I'm-
squeaker.
I'm an old squeaker. My balls have dropped.
Let me help him get back. In it. Oh yeah. You mind if I
Yeah.
stop? a
No,
second?
yeah, no, go ahead, do your thing.
Do we need?
No, you're fine. And what I was also gonna say is the you're good. Yeah, no, you're good. The community of the gaming community
It's
is
huge.
really awesome too, man. And you know, just to have
Dude, there. Yep. Thanks.
there you go.
Yep. Now we're back.
Yeah,
Now
the
we're
gaming
back.
the community is pretty awesome, man.
Yeah. If,
I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll be right back.
yeah, no, that's
we
true.
can let's take a
You want
pause.
to take a
real
pause
quick.
real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take a pause real quick.
So we're off right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until Dad comes back.
Okay.
Take a leak right back.
Sounds cool.
That's what happens when you get old, man.
Yeah.
I drink something, goes right through.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna do number
So
two.
it's not gonna be me waking you up in the morning then, pal.
Yeah, it's
no,
not. He said it's not me waking you up in the morning.
So yeah, no, I do all the gaming controls with my one hand. You know, I make sure it stays on my right kneecap. Do everything with my right, and then my thumb and this finger keeps the controller stable, and I do everything there. But it's
So you're literally going like you're holding here and you're pressing and moving everything with this hand?
yeah.
Wow, dude, that's pretty talented, bro.
I tried Twitch for a little bit, but like I said, I'm busy. My gaming performance is important to me.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
hear
busy
you.
focusing on the game, and so when you're twitching, you got to be big into personality and talking to yourself. And I
Yeah.
just never could really grasp that.
Yeah.
So I don't.
All right, guys. So welcome back. We had a nature calling for one of us here, Dan. Yeah, not to call you out, but as we get older, our bladders need to let loose. a
Oh,
little bit.
yes.
I like Danny's remark though. Danny was like, see, Dad, I'm not the one that wakes you up, it's yourself.
Oh, it is. You know, as you get older, it's like I gotta get myself in a workout routine just so I don't go to the bathroom as much at night. You know.
Hey, Dan. One thing I do want to mention before we close up shop: those boots.
Oh,
Those are some sick boots, bro.
you like those boots?
I'm gonna have to get a
I
shot.
mean, I don't know if you. Yeah. like-
I know we still got the Bruiser Brody shot on here. Are we?
Oh yeah, we're still on. Give me
Okay.
a second. Yeah.
But yeah, I do like those boots. And where did you get those, Dan?
Oh yeah, the Alpha Western. Alpha
Mm.
Western is the company. They're down by Laredo.
Okay.
And I don't know much about the company. I think they're brand new. They've been on social media quite a bit.
They're highlighted right there. Look at that.
Look at that. Oh yeah, look at these boots.
Boom, boom, boom.
But these boots right here, they're called the Gambler. So
Like
little
Kenny
thing
Rogers.
about me. Oh yeah. So obviously I love going out to Vegas, sports capital of the world. I love going to UFC fights, all that kind of stuff. But I do like going to the roulette table.
Mm.
And when I saw these boots, I was like, man, I need to buy myself a pair of those. So
Yeah.
these are, I don't wear them out much. I normally wear these boots when I'm around positive energy, like today,
Nice.
or, you know, I'm closing a deal, or maybe I'm getting a new client or something good. I don't bring them out all that much. You know, it's kind of like You know those baseball players when they get on a streak?
Yeah.
Some guys like Don Mattingly would sleep with his bat when he was on his hit streak back in the day. I think it was 1985 or 86. He hit 30-some games in a row, or I don't even know if that's a true story. I just heard
No,
of
it is.
but
I
I think
used
he
to
slept
watch
with his bat every game.
Don Mattingly,
Yeah.
Wade Boggs, Tony
Yeah.
Gwynn, Pete Rose, true hitters.
Oh yeah.
Not that Otani is, but that was a great series, by the way.
Otani's impressive.
You know, Otani is a beast.
Oh,
he's
he's
impressive.
he's a
He's really
different
good.
breed. You talk about
Pitching
newer
and
athletes.
hitting.
Oh yeah.
So he's one of the guys that I root for.
Yeah.
Otani, and he's
Otani's amazing.
Japanese.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's just a phenom.
I talked about that actually with my friend when he came out. He's my friend's favorite player because he's everywhere over there. But he's definitely something special to watch.
Right.
Because he does it from both defense and offense, which
Yeah.
is incredible. You know, he's those multi-layered athletes.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, another one that was remarkable from a football point of view, doing defense
sides of
and
the ball.
offense, both
Yeah.
sides of the ball was fantastic. I really admire the athletes that put it all out there, and those athletes that do both sides, offense and defense. I love those guys. Like the old guys say, you know, Bo knows. Bo knows.
Oh, Bo
yeah,
knows.
Bo knows.
Bo Jackson was one of my favorite baseball players, and I'm a Raiders fan, so forgive me for that, right? I might get something thrown at me. It's tough being a Raiders fan.
It's
but
tough being a
back in-
Cowboys fan.
Oh, Cowboys, right? But
I'm
the
a s-
Raiders, I loved Bo Jackson. I mean, you talk about an overall. If he never had that freak injury with his hip,
Yep.
he may
Against
have
the
been-
Cincinnati Bengals, I watched that game.
yeah, he may have been the best ever, you know. And in a baseball player, he was good. And, you know, back to what we talked about earlier is like the way my DNA is made up, Johnny, like coaching. One of my favorite clients I ever trained, and all my clients are number one, all right? I don't want anyone
There you
watching
go.
this like, hey, I thought I was your number one. They're all my number one. But this guy here I trained, and he was definitely ranked up there, right? They're all ranked number one. But Nick Torres, his name is. He still plays professional baseball. In fact, he took Player of the Year All-Star in Mexico.
Nice.
So he played years. I met him years ago with the Lake Elsinore Storm. He was one of the Padres coming through their farm system. Been with the Rangers AAA club. He actually played right up in Round Rock, right up the road here. And he was about ready to hang it up, his baseball career. And it was during COVID is where I really got to know Nick, because he moved into New Braunfels area. And I was training him in my gym, a baseball player now. And I remember him telling me, we're waiting for COVID to lighten up so that way I could get back to playing baseball. I want to be a professional baseball player again. So I said, well, why don't we take up a new trade? He's like, well, what are you talking about? He said, well, you're telling me you want to gain some size and you never benched 300 before. For a baseball player, you know, they don't really focus on high numbers, a lot of reps, you know, they'll still lift heavy weight, but not like football or certain other sports or strongman, right? It's a different type of athlete. But I said, how about if we put on about 35 pounds of muscle and I could make you bench way over 300 pounds? Let's give it a shot. So I started working him out, put him on a program, a professional baseball player. And true story, I had him start deadlifting and squatting, and I put him in the Texas State USA Powerlifting Championships. And Nick Torres broke the record for deadlift. All right. And here's the funny part of the story. He broke it a day before he was supposed to report in for spring training down in Mexico. He's like, Dan, I don't know what I'm going to do here. My agent's flipping out. I'm already supposed to be in Mexico. Meanwhile, he's chalking up, tightening up the weight belt. We're in a powerlifting meet in Texas, baby, right? Texas Power, right? So we're up by Dallas in this competition. I said, listen, Nick, you're going to experience a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you're going to be going against guys that have been powerlifting for years, and you've only been doing this for months. And what a story that is when you show up late for spring training. He's like, I hope I still have my job. I said, you tell your trainer you broke the damn freaking Texas State deadlift record, and I don't care who your agent is, he's going to like that. And that's what he did. He flew back to Mexico. We thought he was going to lose his job. Nick, when he watches this, he's going to be laughing. It's a true story. But yeah, I turned a professional baseball player into a power lifter. But more importantly, I taught him, and he would agree too, I taught him the mental aspect of, I don't care what you do, we don't quit.
No.
You know, but that's-
Mamba mentality, man.
Yep.
You win, you learn, and the only time you lose is when you fucking quit.
Yep.
That is it. Don't ever fucking quit.
Yep.
So in the Air Force, we would deal with the spec ops people,
Yep.
and they had NFQ. I'm sure you saw that all over the
Oh,
place,
yeah.
all over Lackland. Yep, and that stands true today. Tell my kids, tell everybody I'm associated with, never quit. And we talked about winning earlier.
Oh, winning.
Winning is great. Winning's contagious, but you're going to take some losses along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And some of those losses are wins.
Oh,
You want to lose sometimes.
Yep.
And not really lose, like I just said, but you want to learn by some of those game losses, individual losses, things that challenge you and burden you in some way. How are you going to bounce back from it? Those are things that we need to teach as coaches. You do that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
With Nick Torres and whoever else that you come across.
The names go on and on.
Yep. So Dan, it's been a pleasure, and Danny, it's been a pleasure having you guys on here. We look forward to having you on even more so. All right, because we're just some dudes talking shit. We're shooting the shit here, right? This is the Social Plug Podcast, but we're just talking shit, right? And we are establishing a relationship with each other. Danny, I just met you. I met you before, but I met you here, and we built a relationship on camera for everybody to see. And that's something that we do as podcasters. We're able to highlight others and capture these moments and these cool conversations on camera for others to see. And it enables others to know who the heck you are, right? And know your story. We're just scratching the surface on your story. We know you're a gamer. We know you're a swimmer. We know you're a badass in the sense that you don't let disabilities, and I put that in air quotes here, stop you. Because a disability is just a label that people say you have. But really, whatever you can't do with your legs, you can do with your mind 10 times.
Yep. My
Right.
gaming career has proved that.
Gaming career, you built the relationships, and whether it's squeakers or non-squeakers, you've built relationships, man.
Yeah.
And we're building relationships here, right? And we like to have a good time.
Yeah.
But your story is one of inspiration and motivation and influence
Yeah.
and respect and impact.
Yep.
And I can go on and on. I can write a book about all the things that we can call you, right? But you are a respectable young man who is courageous, confident, and who just gets the job done no matter the cost, right?
Oh, thank you, sir.
Right? I mean, and like I said, I told your dad earlier, I'm not getting paid to say that. That is me from my heart. All right, my heart to you, personal testimony. You're a badass sitting here in this studio with us today.
Yeah.
All right.
So Johnny, I
you.
want to say thank you for bringing us in. And you're right, you are around two badasses.
Yeah.
You know, it's the difference between being cocky and confident, right? I'm not saying it cocky. I'm being
No,
confident.
No,
Badass.
you've earned it.
Earned it. And when you talk about a story, so I'm going to share something that I've never shared before.
All right.
All right. You ready for this
Let's
one?
do it.
I've never done
Let's
this
do it.
before.
Let's do it.
I always wanted to do it, never have. But my grandfather up in heaven that served in World War II would be looking down smiling right now. So give me a second. So this right here, well, I almost got whacked there. It's by my grandfather in the head. But this right here, talk about a story, is a German helmet.
Wow.
And this German helmet still has the guy's serial number, name, and everything in it. And when you talk about a story with the swastika there too, I will never sell and get rid of this. I've had collectors, I've had people tell me I could probably pay my house off if I wanted to because of that. A lot of these old helmets, that's rubbed off or gone. And it's the power of struggle. It's the power of life. It's our story, Johnny. Your story of being a dad. Danny's story, my story of never quitting. But the DNA and the Bedford blood started because I'm pretty sure my grandfather, he told me the story, one less bad guy in the world. He tried to take my grandfather out in a battle in World War II. It was actually right outside of Normandy. And my grandfather told me the struggles he went through. This guy tried to take out my grandfather, but it's a real life situation here because my grandfather took him out. And it's the power of life. Like, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that good old era, right? The World War II era, I don't think we'll ever see one like that again, what those young men and women had to go through and what my grandfather went through. So when people ask me, like, God, you're a freak, Coach Dan, where do you get all this energy from? Because I'll be honest, I don't stop. I keep going, going, and going. And this helmet right here, it's a testament of hard work. Because if my grandfather didn't react, in life is about reaction. Sometimes when you don't react, or my grandfather taught me about the door of opportunity. The door of opportunity doesn't come around in life that much, but when it does, sometimes you got to run through that door. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my grandfather. My dad wouldn't be here. Danny wouldn't be here. And the Bedford family name legacy will live on forever. I'll never get rid of this helmet. This will get passed on through my family for generations. But yeah, John, you can touch, feel it, whatever you want. But that's a
So let me
this is
speak on
someone's
this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me speak on this real quick. So this is a part of history. This is a historic relic that many people have not been. They see it on pictures and on movies and
Oh,
things like that. So this is a German soldier's helmet. Our enemy, World War II.
like Spartan
There's a
head.
swastika on there,
Yes,
right? The enemy, the
yes.
mortal enemy of Jews, Americans, whatever you want to say. So there is this pretty cool movie that I saw on a flight. It's called All Is Quiet on the Western Front.
Yes.
Have you seen that movie?
Yes, I have.
That is a movie that is powerful, and it's told in through the lens of a German soldier, right? So we're watching this movie from the lens of the German
German
soldier.
soldier.
Usually we see movies from an American point of view. So they went through a lot. They went through hell. They were starved. They didn't have the right equipment. They were just told, go out there and fight for your country and kill Americans and kill whoever came across. So just holding this, Dan, and this is a real deal here.
That
All right. So if you see the movie All Is Quiet on the Western Front, I saw it on Netflix, but you can probably find it wherever you find
I'm gonna
streaming
watch
Wherever
movies.
these.
you find streaming
Yeah.
platforms,
So
I'm pretty
this,
sure.
I mean, this is very intriguing. This is like, holy shit.
Johnny, I'll be honest with you. You guys are experiencing something today, and whoever watches this, like,
I'm gonna place this right here for now,
yeah,
Dan.
yeah,
Or
someone's
actually,
someone's head, right? Like Spartan, Spartica. But that's amazing. I got chills up my arm now looking at that. But I mean, Johnny, if it wasn't for our poor soldiers back then, I mean, we could be speaking Japanese, we could be
right.
speaking German, and nothing against my German friends, and we live in a German community, which is awesome. I love their food, by the way, and their beers. But it's amazing, My grandfather, when he shared that story with me, and before he passed away, he gave me that helmet, and my dad had it, and it's going to be passed down through our family through generations. And it's just to show the will of fight, no quit attitude. It's life.
So your grandfather killed the individual that was trying to kill him.
Yes.
How freaking cool is that? I mean, that
And I
is.
got the guy's name and serial number in it.
So let me look at that.
Yeah. It's rubbed out a little bit.
Yep. But
Yeah.
you can see it. This
But
was on a German soldier, a
And,
Nazi.
and when he told me the story, that guy was a sniper apparently, and he was in a church. And my grandfather was going down a street, and Americans were tied down. And that guy fired a rocket, blew my grandfather's Jeep over, flipped, killed one of my grandfather's best friends that was driving. They call it the fog of war. So my grandfather kind of woke up, smoke, loudness. I couldn't even imagine being in that situation. But he told me that's where the fight or flight response comes in. He said, Dan, I kind of woke up, I was dizzy, and I saw the guy peek his head up. And like the top of the church was blowing out. He was kind of like in a steeple part of it. He was in a good spot, the German was, to take out Americans. And when he peeked his head up, he went back down, and my grandfather saw him. So he took his rifle out. His buddy's blowing up right next to him, and more of his friends laying around. And he put his rifle on the tire, and took him out, and he fell down to the ground. And my grandfather, if you don't mind, Johnny, if I could have the helmet, but like when he told the story, my grandfather, it was right before he passed away. He's like, the fight of hard work and all that. He's like, but he held it up in the air like a movie from Gladiator, Spartan, and all the Americans were cheering him on because a lot of got him. They were pinned down for hours, days. They couldn't get up this road because of just one smart sniper, one smart rocket guy, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, it was an amazing. It's awesome to still have this, And a couple of times my wife told me like, "Hey, maybe you should reach out to the person's family and maybe give it back to their family." I'm like, "Nah, I can't do that for one. What am I going to say to my grandfather?" Like,
Blew you. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's a part of war that's not fun to talk about.
No.
Being in the military all these years, I don't like war. Some people look at me like, "What? You joined the
It's not
military? What do you
fun.
mean you don't like?" No, I like freedom.
Right.
I like growth. I like seeing people succeed in life. Good things like we talked about today. But I want to say thank you for bringing us on the set here today, Johnny, and you guys witnessed something for the first.
That was
I
cool.
don't.
No.
Not too many people know the story,
No,
and not too many people ever seen this
no,
before.
that's part of history. I'm glad.
And,
I'm glad
yeah.
you brought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What war is that?
World War II.
World War
War
II.
II?
Yeah, my grandfather was all over. Prisoner of war. Oh, Silver Star. I got a whole write up. I mean, to be honest, we could probably do another podcast just on his story.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's for another day.
So, J-Rock, I'm not
That's
sure if
cool.
you're familiar with World War II, but the Germans or the Nazis, they would kill Jews in concentration camps.
Mm.
They would kill them for experiments. They would see how long they can survive without arms, how long they could survive without lungs, and all these different things. They'd put these Jewish people on trains and send them over to concentration camps,
Gas
Wow.
chambers.
boil them alive, burn them, shoot them, and put them in holes. I mean, just it's craziness.
Oh.
So that relic right there, that tells a story in itself.
Oh,
And the movie I mentioned earlier, the Germans in there are wearing that same helmet, are they not, Danny? Because you've seen the movie.
Yes, they are. They
same.
the exact same.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that could have been the German individual saying, "Hey, I have an American helmet here. Look at this."
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
Doing a podcast over in Germany.
Yep.
So it's crazy how
Crazy.
how
How life is.
life is,
Yeah.
and it's survival of the fittest sometimes.
Yep.
Let's just be honest.
Yep.
And that is part of history, and it just puts everything into perspective. The never quit attitude. Your grandfather never quit. His team never quit, and I'm sure he inspired his team and engaged with them and said, "Hey guys, we got this.
Oh, yeah.
Just hunker down. We're gonna be okay. Follow my lead."
Yep.
100%.
And just like we're following your lead as well. Whenever you're having that bad day, whenever you say, "Man, I can't get this done. Oh man, this struggle is too burdensome on me." No. Think about Danny Bedford. Think about, those that have challenges and struggles and trials and tribulations. Your problems might not be even that bad. You've overcome a lot of things, and
Yeah.
you're flourishing today.
I try my
Right?
best.
Yeah, you try your best, but you're doing
Yeah.
a very great job, man. And I
Yep.
appreciate you coming on here and
Thank
telling
you.
your story, because that takes courage. Have you done this before? Come on a podcast and
Not
done
like
this
this.
before?
Not
Nah.
like this. Not like this. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity. When my dad first told me, I was like, well, I don't know. I was like, my story's like almost 15 years old. And then I thought about it, and we had talked about it for a minute because I had struggled on what exactly I was going to talk about. And he just told me it was a conversation just between dudes and just to talk about it because, it may inspire somebody.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And so here I am today, and thank you for your time.
Yep.
Thank you for allowing us to share our story today.
Yeah,
I
thank
think-
you, Johnny.
I love
Thank
it.
you so much.
And
Thank
and
you.
you said your story was 15 years ago. Danny, your story is evolving, and your story is going on every single day.
Yeah.
Every day that you're alive is a part of your story.
I mean, Yeah, you could probably, do another podcast on all the different sorts of things that CP does to your body alone.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm here able to just give you a glimpse into what it takes to be somebody with my disability. And, people might think, oh, the gaming's not that important, but even from a gaming aspect, look at what I'm able to do. Look at the friends and the community that I've made. So it's important.
And the mental health aspect, it's
Yeah.
helping you
Yeah.
cope with everyday things, and it's allowing you to do like a whole bunch of different things at once.
Yep.
Every game is building confidence. Every game's building relationships. Every game
Absolutely.
is helping with your motor skills. It's helping all kinds of things. It's helping keep your dad up at night sometimes too. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yep.
But you're doing well, badass. You're a badass, man.
Yeah. Thank you for your
So
time.
what's your gamer tag?
Well, my stuff is pretty private.
Okay, so we won't go there
We
then.
won't go there. But yeah, I just thank you for your time today.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. It's more of an honor you being here for us
Yeah.
than me inviting you on. So it's
Absolutely.
thankful for you
Yeah.
and what you're doing.
I'm
all right?
I'm just a simple dude trying to do my best.
Yep, that's all it's about.
Yep.
Okay.
But thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Dan, I know you have a fitness studio and you're a coach and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So where can they find your fitness
Yeah,
studio?
well, you could find me pretty easy on social media if you just type in DBFitness LLC or DBFitness Now, and you could find me on there. I'm got my own garage gym, I like to call it. I just like to get after it, old school. A lot of guys that know me call it the sweatshop. I don't need nothing fancy. Just give me some weights, squat rack, and turn some AC/DC on, and let's get after it.
Old school.
Old school. You could find me pretty easy.
Okay. Any other social media handles or anything like that?
Nope, just Instagram. Yeah, DB Fitness LLC, DB Fitness Now. I'm on Facebook. You could find me in the local New Braunfels community pretty easy.
There you
Got a
go.
lot of the top high school football players in the area come to me,
Nice.
which I'm blessed for that their parents believe in me to
Nice.
make their kids better so they could get their goals.
Very cool.
Well, I'd love to have you on, brother, on my podcast and talk some coaching.
Yeah, let's talk. I could talk
Yeah,
coaching all. That's a
what
whole other.
that's my life
All
too, man.
day
So,
long. Yeah, I've
yeah.
coached many years of high school football, and that's where it all starts.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you on. So
Thank you.
We'll have you on the Kick Rocks and the Coach's Mindset podcast. So
Let's do it.
let's
Coach's
man.
mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it, man. That'd be awesome.
So those of you watching, thank you for joining us. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us watching this inspiration evolve into something special. I've been motivated. I've been inspired. I've been influenced by these two dynamic individuals. The father and son dynamic is so important. We have to be able to understand each other and communicate well, and they do a hell of a job of doing that as a parent and as a child. I'm gonna call you a child even though you're 32 years old. But you're in the child position or the son position. All right. So, like I said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Thank you. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you watching, because if you're not watching, then what the hell are we doing here? If we can inspire at least one person, we've done our job as podcasters, as men, as influencers, and everything else that comes with it. You can find us at socialplugmedia.net. We are all over socials, our social media, that is. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We're also on YouTube, we're on Spotify, and we're looking to be on Threads if we're not already. I believe we might be. All right. So with that said, you are unplugged from the Social Plug Podcast, where we connect you to level up, and we'll see you next time.